Seems like we had some technical difficulties. I'm so sorry. Okay, there is a delay. There's a lag. There's a lag. Okay. All right. Okay, I think we're all set. Okay, so sorry. There is a delay and there is a lag. And so I wanted to make sure that we are on all of our platforms. So we are showing up on LinkedIn, we are showing up on YouTube. And, that's how sometimes things work in sales. You just have to pivot very quickly. You never know when things are going to go well or things are not going to go well. So, anyhow, back to really talking about understanding what our triggers are. So we're all humans. And what's really important is to be reminded that we bring our whole selves to work. So, in bringing our whole selves to work, that means that if we have a bad morning, if our kids are acting up, if our spouse isn't, as loving as we want them to be, we might show up at work and immediately have a chip on our shoulder. So we have to take time to process whatever has happened with us in our personal lives before we step into work. And I call that the activity, if you will, of putting your oxygen mask on first. So anyone who's ever been on an airplane, during the safety message, what the flight attendant comes over the announcements and says is, in case of emergency, please put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. And so we're not operating in a space of emergency. We don't only want to put our oxygen mask on if there is something bad that is happening. We need to do this proactively, because it's better to be proactive in your approach to self-care than it is to be reactive. So what types of things do we need to do to really ensure that we are breathing, taking deep breaths before we step into the workplace? So, one of the most important things that I think that salespeople, sales leaders, CEOs, entrepreneurs, anybody really needs to do, and even if you're not in a sales position, is you need to wake up before you actually have to be up. So, what does that mean? If you have a child, if you have a dog to walk, if you have a spouse that you spend time with in the mornings, you need to wake up 15 to 20 minutes before your scheduled time so you can spend time with yourself. And what do you do in that time? Many people say it's hard for me to turn my brain off. Well, don't turn your brain off. Just take whatever's in your brain and write it down on a piece of paper. I encourage you to not pick your phone up immediately when you wake up. And why is that? Because what happens is when you pick your phone up immediately, it signals to your brain that we're starting to move, we're starting to go. And having a phone, because typically, what are you going to do on your phone? You're going to go on social media, you're going to check your emails, you're going to check your text messages. And so you're already starting behind the eight ball because you're in the space of reactivity. You're not being proactive. So you're telling your brain all day long, I'm going to be in reactive mode. Somebody's going to send me an email, I'm going to respond. Somebody's going to tell me, excuse me, to make 10 cold calls, and I'm going to do it, right? So don't pick your phone up, leave your phone where it is, and really step into that space. Carve out a space in your home. It doesn't have to be a huge space. It can be a closet, it can be a room, it can be your living room, it can be wherever you want it to be, and just sit and read, journal, listen to music. So I said, don't pick up your phone, but if you have your put an Alexa, or if you just open the music app on your phone, just allow your brain to just process whatever it wants to process. You can use this time to pray, to meditate, to do yoga, but you really want to start your day in a place of calm and peace. Because again, you're signaling to your brain that we are going to be proactive today. We're going to be in control of what happens. We're not just going to allow anything that flows to us to just flow to us. So really take that 15 to 20 minutes to pour into yourself. So once you do that, then you're at this place of when your 3-year-old is screaming and saying, I want to wear pajamas to school, instead of biting their little head off, you're like, okay, that's fine. You want to wear pajamas? It's not going to kill me. It's not going to hurt me. But you have done what you needed to pour into yourself so that you can show up as your best self for everyone else. So, really starting your day with yourself is the most important thing. So now we know how we kick off our day. We are spending intentional time with ourselves. And I encourage you, as the experts have said for years and years and years and decades, it takes 21 days to build a habit. So for 21 days, your first action item, anytime we spend time together, I'm going to give you homework. That is what I do best. Your first action item is for 21 days, wake up 15 minutes earlier and spend time with yourself. Just do it. And after 21 days, send me a message. Say, Wesley, it didn't work. It was horrible. Or, wow, this is how much I got in just those 15 minutes. And if you're already spending 15 minutes with yourself in the mornings, push yourself. Do 20 minutes or 25 minutes. I routinely spend anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes by myself before my boys wake up. And it is because my body naturally wakes me up. For years, I haven't used an alarm clock. That's a whole nother topic. But sometimes I wake up at 4 a.m. And if I'm up at 4 a.m. and I don't have to get my boys up and going until 6 o'clock, I have a lot of time to spend with myself. Sometimes I sleep in a little bit later. I don't wake up until 5:30. So I only have about 30 minutes. And I don't get mad at myself for sleeping later. I don't get mad at myself for not having as much time. I use the time that I have and I make the best of it. So that leads into the next topic of really being kind to yourself. So people tell you, oh, you have to stop all the negative self-talk, have positive self-talk, do this, do that. But at the end of the day, it's hard. Why? Because we are our own worst critic. We are the ones who are in our heads and we are telling ourselves, oh, the last time you did XYZ, remember that happened? And we have all those memories of the things that happened before. So if you're in a high pressure job where you are focused on selling, you are focused on executing, you have goals, you have targets, you have something that you need to do to get done in a timely fashion, when you make a mistake, you tend to be really hard on yourself. And I want you in those moments when you are having a time that you aren't your best self, I really want you to think about, what would my best friend tell me? What would somebody who really loves me tell me? My mom, my dad, my spouse.